Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today we are finally kicking off the Moon Series portion of VGC 2019. For those that don't know, rules have changed a little bit and we're finished up with the Sun Series part of VGC 2019. This year it's a rotating rule set and Z moves are now allowed in the format. I did a quick intro to Moon Series video. If you have not seen that, definitely check it out, linked in the description below. And if you want to try out some teams in Moon Series, I've also linked an article in the description below from Trainer Tower, which has a bunch of different great restricted cores and very, very strong teams around them. I'm actually going to be using one of the teams from that article. This was one of the hottest teams coming out of Sun Series. It was originally built by Oliver Eskelin from Europe, and he managed to win first place in the International Challenge with it online. Then it was adapted by a player named Raghav, who was able to win the Anaheim Regional Championship. So I don't want to use this team for too long, but the reason I wanted to is one, feature a really cool team. This is also probably going to be a really common team for the earlier weeks of Moon Series, so don't be too surprised if you see it around a lot. It's really strong, it has a ton of options, and plays around this really, really bulky Yveltal, while also running multiple Xerneas counters like Stakataka and Venusaur. And if you want to try this team out yourself, the article I linked in the description below does have a paste for it. So I hope you guys enjoy. I've played a couple of games just to really get a feel of the team, and I think the team is really good. My play definitely not up to par yet, but it's definitely going to be a learning process, and I'm excited to play a brand new format. I think Moon Series compared to Sun Series obviously isn't going to be too different, but I'm excited to try some more unique strategies around certain Pokemon and try to really photolize the potential of Z moves as the format progresses. So I hope you guys enjoy. As always, if you do, please share support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. I'll do my best to really keep up with consistent content with Moon Series. I feel like, I know for me personally, like, 2019 overall, it's like a fun format, and I just personally am waiting for the next year of VGC, because I think like right now, we're towards the end of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. People aren't too interested in the games, and I think even though VGC itself is really interesting, the scene has a lot of room to grow. And I think next year is going to be like super hype and super fun, especially with the brand new game coming out. That being said, I'm still going to do my best to keep you guys with good educational and fun content for 2019. And I plan on competing a bunch in Moon Series as well, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, we're going to find our first opponent of the day running a pretty interesting team. It's going to be Lunala Kyogre, which I think this team definitely has an optimal matchup against. Rounding it out, though, there's a Metagross and a Bisharp, so two steel types we don't see very often in this format, as well as Tapu Koko and Incineroar. So, let's see. First observation, Groudon hits everything for super hard, so that's quite nice. Yveltal is going to be quite nice here, too, being able to just snarl things around. However, I will boost the Dark potential from the Bisharp, so I do have to watch out for that. But feels like Incineroar and Yveltal is a pretty safe lead here, getting a Fake Out. I do have to worry about the Defiant from Bisharp, though. I think that scares me enough where I'm actually considering leading Koko and Yveltal instead. I definitely want Groudon in this matchup, that's for sure. Venusaur is interesting. It's just like I can't really hit the steel types for damage at all, and it mainly threatens the Kyogre. I don't think I'm going to really bring Stakataka into this matchup, and I think Incineroar is still a decent call here, because Metagross can't do too much to it. It walls Lunala, which is basically the biggest deal. So Stakataka, like, I just don't think there's a great reason to bring unless I want to go for the Trick Room option. And Venusaur I'm not the biggest fan of because, one, I have opposing weather to go up against in itself, and two, Venusaur just can't hit the steel types at all, whereas Incineroar offers me another offensive option in terms of damage output, and it's just Incineroar. And of course Koko, a great one here just for, the Koko is the Z-move user. It originally was Choice Specs on the team, but pretty safe Z-move user. We do see Lunala Bisharp, so I'm glad I did not bring that Incineroar as a lead. So Koko Yveltal here does put on a lot of offensive pressure right away. The downside is I can't Snarl with... Actually, I can. I can just go for the Z move onto Bisharp and Snarl, which I actually like a lot, I think. So I'm definitely Z moving immediately turn 1 here. If Bisharp protects, that's fine. Worst case is... What is the worst case? I guess Bisharp protects, Lunala Tailwinds, but we're just going to see a Z-move come out here, so good start. And so, I mean, if I see Bisharp, I'm always assuming Focus Sash, but you can also run Life Orb and Choice Band as well, but Sash is easily the most consistent item on it. Haven't really seen it at all in VGC 2019, but it was quite good in earlier formats like 2015, for example. So, going to get the Z-move off, this should bring it down to its Sash. We'll see how fast it is relative to Yveltal. There's the Sash, yep. And so Lunala's going to Tailwind. Nothing too surprising there. So CF Yveltal's faster than the Bisharp here. And it is, which is huge. So my opponent just loses Bisharp. I break Lunala Shadow Shield, and I get a special attack decrease. So that's pretty much the best case scenario for me there. I was thinking even if like Lunala just Tailwinds and Bisharp protects, that's not really too bad. I would still get the chip damage through the protect, but I think in retrospect, maybe I should have aggressively targeted down the Lunala a little bit more. Because had Bisharp protected and Tailwind just gone up, then Bisharp would have threatened with like Iron Head. But the thing is, like, Yveltal's still in a really good position, so that I would probably just protect Tapu Koko the next turn and go for an attack onto Lunala. But the main issue is that had Tailwind gone up and Bisharp was still around, my opponent could have removed my Assault Vest, which actually could have been a really big deal. So I'm in a pretty good spot right now. I think I'm actually going to just... like, Yveltal just wins against Lunala and Kyogre, honestly. And now with Bisharp out the way, I kind of want to switch into the Groudon, but I think it's more optimal just to protect this first turn. I'm thinking protect Snarl. I just don't want like Specs Water Spout plus an attack into Yveltal. And I think Yveltal is so good. Ooh, whoa, that's not who I want to switch into. Oh boy. Okay, I want to go into Groudon and I want to Snarl. Okay, I think we got that off in time. Could have also Sucker Punch Lunala, but I mean, I could protect Koko here, but if I get crit by a Water Spout in Rain, like, plus Lunala targets me, like, maybe that knocks me out. And I'm okay with the Rain even being up in this game as long as I get the first Snarl off. Like, one Snarl plus Assault Vest just changes everything. We do see a good Wide Guard from Lunala, though, so I should have considered that. I didn't really think about that option. Kyogre is going to launch a Water Spout. So, obviously not the best turn for me here, but I'll still get the Sun up, and you see how well Yveltal takes that. Even Groudon takes it pretty well. So, definitely a nice turn by my opponent there. But now I gotta wonder, like, is Lunala just stuck on Wide Guard duty? Do you Wide Guard again, or do you expect me to call the Wide Guard here? I'm just gonna protect Groudon, stall out my opponent's Tailwind here, and I'll go for the foul play into Lunala. It's just a safer option. Lunala's not doing too much damage to Yveltal, because we've seen Wide Guard, we've seen Tailwind, so you've got to run a combination of Moongeist Beam, Psyshock, and Protect. So none of those should hit Yveltal at all. And we saw how little damage the Water Spout in the Rain did. So even if Lunala attacks here, like, that's fine. Ideally, it Z-moves into Groudon, and it procs my Berry. It is going to be a Z-move coming out. And that is the Lunala Z-move. Okay. I wonder if this is copyrighted or not. If so, I'm going to have to cut out the animation. But this is good. It also confirms Kyogre is in Choice Scarfed, and it also means Kyogre can't Z-move, so a bunch of big information there. It's a pretty sick animation. Fitting right perfectly with the overlay. I meant to mention the overlay as well. This was designed by a player called Genius VGC. Same overlay, same guy who made my last overlay. So thank you to him for a really, really clean layout. So this should just heal me up now because I do have the berry, which is quite nice. And that animation is so sick though, wow. I did like, what, 25 damage? Does that even activate the berry? Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. Kyogre's gonna Thunder in Sun, but it is Electro Terrain boosted, so a pretty strong option there. Actually does a ton of damage. Not happy to see a Thunder outside of Rain hit me like that, but it's okay. I'll still knock out Lunala. And that means my opponent now cannot have Rain for the remainder of the game, and I've got Tapu Koko in the back, which can just deal with Kyogre easily. So, not the best case scenario the last... Like, things could have gone a little bit better here and there, but I think this is still completely fine. Yeah, I'm just gonna Precipice Blades here. It's the last turn of Tailwind. So I can Sucker Punch. Let's see, Electric Terrain still has 2 more turns, so I'm probably gonna bring out Incineroar. Yeah, I'm gonna just Sucker Punch the Metagross here. Kyogre probably would have been a better target, actually, just because of Water Spout damage. And I could have activated a Weakness Policy there on Metagross, but nah. I should survive that in the Sun with Yveltal, yeah. So unless he's got Rock Slide, I should at least survive with 1. It is going to be a Meteor Mash coming out. Going to target down Yveltal, but that's fine. Yveltal's done its job. Does get an attack increase, but, I mean, even if I miss Precipice Blades, Koko should be able to seal this game up for me. Kyogre dodges it, but Metagross gets hit, so that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I think like it was going to be very hard for my opponent to win this game with the matchup, but protecting Bisharp turn 1 would have been a start for sure. Yeah, the Thunderbolt plus Snarl combination was just really, really big. And here, Kyogre can protect, but I'm just going to withdraw into Incineroar and Thunderbolt. Pretty safe play. Water Spout. Any water type attack in Sun isn't going to knock me out, so... Yeah, like the Sun just adds so much pressure, plus like water damage output is just reduced by so much, so... Yeah, like Lunala Kyogre is a really strong combination, but against Kyogre, or sorry, Groudon Yveltal, especially the Assault Vest on Yveltal, like Assault Vest Yveltal by itself already has a pretty solid matchup against both of those. Like even if the rain is up, it can take a Water Spout, plus an attack from Lunala, you can snarl away. But then you add the Groudon, and suddenly it's like Kyogre's damage output is just reduced by so much. And you saw how little Water Spout in rain did to Assault Vest Yveltal, so I think that game highlights just how good really bulky Yveltal can be. So the way this team is designed is pretty interesting because like the Yveltal typically stays on the field for a very long time. It's pretty darn hard to get rid of it as well because you're mainly a lot of the Pokemon in this format are special type attackers, and with physical type attackers you do have Intimidate from the Incineroar. So gonna go up against another Kyogre team, but this one has an Yveltal of its own. These comps can be pretty scary, and I haven't like watched too many games of people using it. I haven't watched any games with like the top players using it because I don't think there are too many even replays available. It really is unfortunate because the Anaheim Regionals that this team won in Sun Series was not streamed. So yeah, I'm curious on how it approaches the 3 standard matchups like Mirror Match, the Tornadus Kyogre team that we see here, although normally there's Xerneas over Yveltal. And then the last team comp that's pretty popular is Ashton Cox and Jeremy Rodriguez's team with Lunala Xerneas. I think people like to lead Instant Tornadus, and it gives a lot of options because like if you lead Groudon Venusaur, you can just U-turn Tailwind and then go into Kyogre to Water Spout. Could go with my own Incineroar and Tapu Koko. The other issue is losing Assault Vest on Yveltal is really bad here. I like leading Koko Instant, I think. Koko, Instant, Groudon, and Yveltal. Seems we're not bringing Venusaur into this matchup, but if the threat of Rain Dance, plus I can't hit Kartana, plus I can get taunted. Yeah, I need to learn how to approach this matchup though. Tornadus Kyogre, Instant Kartana, that core. I like beating Koko here just because it pressures the Tornadus a little bit from the start. Depending on like how the Incineroars are, regardless, you get an Intimidate off, plus I can fake out my opponent's Incineroar or just fake out my opponent's Tornadus. I expect to see Instant and Tornadus as the lead for my opponent, but there are obviously other combinations you can go with. This is going to be Kyogre and Tornadus instead. Okay. So that's interesting, because if I had gone with something like Instant and Yveltal, I would have been in a great spot. But I do learn that the Kyogre here isn't Choice Scarf, so that's a really big, important piece of information. And this actually changes how I'm going to approach this, I think. So, turn 1, like, Kyogre is obviously in threat of a Thunderbolt. So I can obviously safely fake out Tornadus. The question is whether I want to, like, make a really gutsy prediction and just Thunderbolt the Kyogre as well. My opponent alternatively can also protect Kyogre and switch Tornadus out into Incineroar. That's a very possible play. But if you did that, then I can just switch into Groudon the following turn. I kind of want a Z-move here. You're thinking Z-move seems kind of weird, but it gets all this chip damage through Protect. And that decreases Water Spout's damage output. So I'm actually going to just launch a Z-move, even though I expect the Kyogre to protect or switch out. I'm just going to fake out Tornadus. This is like a unnecessarily safe play. Kyogre actually swaps out, meaning whatever's coming in is taking a Z-move. It is going to be Serena, though, which blocks the fake out, so that was a nice play. But I don't mind this too much. I should have knocked off, though. I was thinking of knocking off. It's actually going to be... So my Z-move is going to come out. I'm okay with that. Any damage output against Serena is quite nice, and I force Kyogre out, which means now I can get Yveltal into a potentially safe position. Knocking out Serena is also good because it paves the way for Groudon later on. I did want to knock off, though. I was expecting Kyogre to protect there and Incineroar to switch out, but I forgot about Serena blocking out Fake Out, so I don't think Fake Outing was the most optimal play there, but at least I forced Kyogre out, and that's some pretty good chip damage onto Serena. And Tornadus actually just got up to Hurricane. Gonna go into Incineroar. It does do a fair amount of damage, but no confusion, which is good. Okay. I mean, Thunderbolt into Tornadus is really safe. just gonna Thunderbolt and U-turn here, yeah. And Serena switches out, which is an interesting option, into Kyogre, so gonna get some chip damage off there. If Tornadus is sashed, obviously that's gonna be kind of annoying, but Tailwind does go up, and I get chip damage onto Kyogre, and I switch out my Incineroar. And if it's not sashed on me, obviously even better for me. And it is sashed, yeah. I could have doubled up into that slot, but I'm okay with that. Like, now Yveltal just comes out and puts on so much pressure against my opponent. Okay, I could bring in Groudon, but I think I'll opt for Yveltal. Yeah. The other interesting thing here is I do have the access to Sucker Punch, and Sucker Punching Kyogre would reduce its damage output by a lot. I actually like the idea of Sucker Punching here. I'm going to Volt Switch in Sucker Punch. The only downside here is if Tornadus switches out into Serena. Yeah, I don't like the play that I make there because I don't really expect the Serena to switch in, but if it does, then I take way too much damage and I get nothing off. I think Snarl is probably just a better option there. Yeah, there's a switch out too. It wasn't the best play on my end. So he's gonna get a Spout off. Oh no, it's a Z move actually. Okay. I'm okay with that then, because the Snarl doesn't make too much of it. I mean, if this goes into Yveltal, fine, then I get the Volt Switch off. And my opponent commits a Z move. Although I guess Snarl would have knocked out both. It is going to go into Yveltal, so that was a great play by my opponent. I was expecting just a Scarf. But Yveltal, proving how good it is, actually survives that in the rain, which is really, really impressive. The Volt Switch here, not going to knock out Kyogre, though, which is slightly unfortunate. Snarl would have been really big there for me, but it's not the end of the world, I think. I'm going to bring out Groudon now, because there's no threat of my opponent changing the weather again. Definitely could have played that last turn better, though. Snarl would have infinitely been better. Even something like an Oblivion Wing to heal all the way back up. I didn't consider Waterium Z going into the Yveltal specifically. So I believe it's the last turn of Tailwind. Oh, there's still 2 turns. Whoops. Kind of want to switch the Yveltal out into Incin and just knock out Serena here. Yeah, I like that play. Mainly because if I keep Yveltal around, then I can still actually pressure with Sucker Punch. And if Serena goes down, then I can Sucker Punch everything. That last turn, not the smartest play on my end. I could have... Yeah, I mean, I could have switched into Groudon, but if I switch into Groudon, my opponent just Rain Dance Water Spouts, then I'm screwed. So I'm okay, like, not switching out into Groudon there. I just think maybe Sucker Punch wasn't the best play, because Serena's obviously in the back. So one thing I didn't do very well this game was play around the Serena, because I faked out into it in the beginning when I should have knocked off. Or U-turned even. Let's see. Kyogre's just going to Scald. Okay, hopefully no burn here. Doesn't do too much. Had to jinx it for myself. Does opt for the high jump kick, so nice play there into Incin. But that doesn't knock me out. Shiprock the berry. Yeah. The burn is unfortunate though, but I'll see if it actually makes a difference. Hopefully I still knock out Serena. I mean, this is sun boosted, super effective. That's kind of annoying, because, yeah, it heals all the way back up. I can't fake out now, and it's kind of an ugly turn there for me, but what can you do? I'll survive a Scald from Kyogre at this point, though, which is good. I'd rather knock out Kyogre here. Gotta wonder if Serena just high jump kicks again. Because I could go out into Coco. If I'm my opponent, I'm thinking of switching Kyogre out into Tornadus. But you could also Scald, and you could double up onto Incin. I'm going to Precipice Blades to try to knock out Kyogre here, and Flare Blitz to try to knock out Serena. The burn is so unfortunate because Serena had the berry. Like, without the berry, I'll take the burn, but the combination of that was not great for me. Oh, Helping Hand. Interesting. I don't even know if Helping Hand Scald knocks out either, honestly. Let's see. Just gonna target down the Groudon. Yeah, I survived. That's so nice. That could just be a double knockout then. Yeah, this Groudon is super, super defensively bulky, or especially defensively bulky. Precipice Blades does hit. Thank you. So that should knock out Kyogre, and I should knock out Serena. So double knockout. Tornadus is at 1 HP. We've still got all 4 of our guys. Downside is that Tornadus, of course, can just set up another Tailwind. But now Yveltal can pressure Sucker Punch. So I'm going to swap out my Incin. The goal is to get the Tornadus to protect and then fake out the turn after. Sun is also up, which is nice because Hurricane's accuracy is reduced. And I've still got Coco in the back. But I haven't won this by any means because I've got 3 Pokemon that are pretty low HP. But yeah, Groudon hanging on there was huge because I got the double knockout. So that's exactly what we wanted. So Tornadus comes out. It's Kartana actually as the last one. Okay. Wasn't expecting that, but I think that's better for me. This is a big turn, I want to say. But my opponent can't knock out both of my Pokemon at once. Like, obviously I want to Psycho in for the Fake Out. It's probably best to protect Groudon. And switch into Coco. Because I want to Psycho in one Intimidate. The other play I was thinking is just attacking with both Pokemon here, but I don't know. I think Kartana probably survives a Fire Punch with me being burned. But I'm not sure. That's a calc I don't know. It is Sun boosted, I guess, but Tornadus could Rain Dance. Yeah, it actually did. Okay. So that makes me feel a bit better about the play that I made. Now I gotta wonder if Tornadus is Protect, because if you were on Rain Dance, Tailwind, Hurricane, Taunt, Protect. Yeah, you did Sacred Sword, but that's fine. Okay, so I think I'm in a good spot now. Because my opponent can't possibly outmaneuver his way around this, I think. I just switch into Incin. The one threat is if Kartana Z moves, but if Kartana Z moves Coco and Tornadus protects, then I can just fake out the Tornadus the following turn. Yeah. So my opponent would need a double protect. Would need a double protect and a Z move right now to go into Coco. But you can't even Z move because the Kyogre Z moved earlier. Yeah, so I think we're good. You need a crit Leaf Blade. Like, my opponent's way of winning here is protect Tornadus, crit Leaf Blade into Coco, and get a double protect to blow out my next Fake Out. And even with all that, we could still win, because Kartana can't target everything one at a one. It's just getting rid of Tornadus, so it's, because Kartana is really strong, but it can only target down one Pokemon at a time. But a Tornadus just ups the Tailwind, so that should seal up the game. The speed doesn't do anything here, because, like, you're going to be faster anyway, and yeah, I'm just going to swap out now. Because, yeah, Kartana can't knock out everything all at once. So I'm going to bring out Groudon, set the sun up again. Even if my opponent called this and Sacred Sworded the Incin, we should be fine. Because, once again, Kartana can't just can't deal with everything. Like, he's got to knock out 4 Pokemon right now. Did go for the Sacred Sword into Incin. Let's see if it knocks out. It does get the knockout, so best possible play for my opponent, so that was good. But now I just target it with a flurry of attacks. You can only knock out 1 Pokemon at a time. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just bring out Coco here, I think. Actually, Yveltal is fine, yeah. Because I can protect with Coco. So by bringing out Yveltal, actually, Coco probably would have been better, because then I can double protect to burn a turn Tailwind. But I'm just going to Oblivion Wing and Fire Punch here. Yeah. And 2 attacks from any of my Pokemon should knock out this Kartana. So it's going to opt to knock out the Groudon, obviously, because the Fire Punch, but that's okay. Oblivion Wing. I mean, even if this is Assault Vest, I guess if this is Assault Vest Kartana, this game gets a little bit more interesting. Probably is Assault Vested. But Oblivion Wing still does a sizable amount there. Okay. Should I have played a little bit safer? Yeah, it would have been correct to bring out Coco double protect, I think, first. There's still 2 turns of Tailwind, I believe. Yes. So you can knock out either. Yeah, but if I just Oblivion Wing or Thunderbolt, Kartana should be in Sucker Punch KO range, I believe. Yeah. So I think we should be good. Maybe, I was thinking of Sucker Punching with Yveltal here, but if I Sucker Punch and you knock out Coco, then there's still 1 more turn of Tailwind. So I should have brought out Tailwind, I should have brought out Coco just to double protect and stall out a turn of Tailwind earlier. Go for the Thunderbolt Fire Punch play. He is going to go for the Smart Strike here into Yveltal, but that's fine. Because it's getting all these attack increases, so it is going to get the knockout, and it looks like Assault Vest, but 2 Thunderbolts should still get the knockout here. And this next turn is the last turn of Tailwind, so I just protect. Yep. Unless I had a berry there, that could have been bad. But Kartana did bring it back, you know, came very close. Electric Terrain is going to disappear as well, but even with AV, I survive. So, kind of a long drawn-out game. I was thinking, like, am I throwing this game right now? But I don't think... Like, if I Sucker Punch there... if I Sucker Punch, then I would just get the knockout anyway. So... If I Sucker Punch, though, and my opponent targets Coco, then I actually lose the game. So that's one way I could have actually thrown it. But now Thunderbolt should just knock out Kartana safely. Yep, so we do end up getting the win. Kind of a long drawn-out one there in the end. We do end up getting 2 wins. That first one, once again, was a very favorable matchup for us. So, like, I think it was tough for my opponent to have won. Not to mention, like, Bisharp and Metagross didn't really do very much. And I was able to knock out the Bisharp immediately. This last game was kind of interesting because Kyogre wasn't Scarfed. So I had pressure with the Insane Coco lead that I went with. Lost the Z move pretty early. The main thing is that I should have tried to prioritize knockout Tornadus earlier, and so like when I got that Thunderbolt off, I was like, oh, that's really good. But then obviously I had the Focus Sash, so going for a knockoff in the beginning of the game with Incineroar instead of that Fake Out that I went for would have been really, really helpful. Because if I eliminate the Tornadus, then you don't have any more Tailwind pressure, you don't have Rain Dance pressure as well, and that's a big deal given that I've got Groudon in the back. The burn made things slightly more difficult, but then we got pretty fortunate surviving the Helping Hand Scald from the Kyogre, so that was a really big deal. But yeah, definitely some fun ones to get kicked off. We went up against a bunch of team archetypes, and that last game definitely showed how good Kartana can be, but I think it shows why Kartana always like wants a partner next to it. Of course, it can hit really hard, it can get a lot of knockouts, but if you can direct all your attention onto it, then you're in a very fine position. So nice place for my opponent there to try to claw out of it. In the end, we just had too many Pokemon to really deal with, so we do end up getting the win. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you for watching. I'm going to be, like I said, doing my best to bring you guys some more consistent content, especially in Moon Series. If you want to try this team out yourself, there is a paste in the description below. Thank you to Oliver Escalon, aka OVGC, and Ragov. I'll link his Twitter in the description below as well for using this team to such good success and really putting it on the map. So yeah, it's going to be it for this one. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I'm excited to be back here with the Moon Series, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, peace.